good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Neighborish livecast. I'm Super Dave, aka Mr. Incredible, and with me, as always, is my man, 100 grand, the one and only Just Mike. How you doing today, sir?
Man, we on this side of the grass. You know how it is. Good to see y'all.
Yeah. So definitely, man. You know, we got a great show popping today. We got a great guest coming in a few minutes, and also Patrice said she'll be in this evening. Aisha is utterly occupied. Shout out to her. Hope she, enjoying herself.
And Jay, don't forget Jay, man.
Jay Son, yes sir. Jay Son. Speaking of Jay Son, man, I'm glad you brought that up, man. That mixtape is going crazy right now on Bandcamp.com. Bandcamp.com.
I apologize. I'm 40. I'm old, man. I got the Tupac Sirius XM channel like for the last 3 weeks.
That's all you play. Yeah. Nah, but check this right out when you get a chance, man. It's crazy.
Where can we find it?
The bandcamp.com/SE3. He also has his own website, jasonslyric.com. And you can check it out there too. And also Cedar United, the organization that he has, giving back to the community, taking the young guys from the community from a very community that's been rough. And and taking them out and giving them some knowledge of themselves, giving them some inspiration and some hope with a bunch of the other older brothers. You know, they need people to come out and help. If you can't do it, like me, I work so much that I don't really have time, and that sounds bad. But
he ain't on talk.
Yeah, definitely. They had Cedar United is their Cash App, $ Cedar, SEDAR United. And man, holla at them. They're doing good things in the neighborhood. They're changing the trajectory of these young people's lives. They're making a tangible difference in these young people's lives, young boys and girls, giving them a reason to live, a reason to value life to a point where they won't be out here doing some of the stuff that they've been doing or that they've been privy to and seen done. So shout out to Jay Son and everybody who does that.
Each one teaches
and everybody that does stuff like that in the city. But I see our guest coming in now. So let's let her in and get this popping.
Yes, indeed.
Yep. So I see you went to Deep Creek, Mike. Hey, Pam.
Hey, y'all. I'm so sorry. My other meeting ran into this one.
No, it's cool. I know you're a busy lady. I appreciate you taking out the time to come in and talk to us this evening.
Not a problem.
So I see my other host coming in too.
Okay.
So a second.
Hello.
Sorry.
Hey, ma'am.
Okay, it is. Okay.
There you are. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is the one and only personal trainer, meal prep chef, and fitness guru, Miss Fruit Fit herself, Patrice Jones. How you doing, P?
Doing okay.
Hi,
Okay.
Patrice.
I stay busy. Hi. Who's that?
That's Pam. How you?
Pam Ward.
Hi,
Yeah.
Pam. How you doing?
Yeah. And you've already heard her
Pam
voice.
on a mic.
Right, man. So yeah, you guys see her, you hear her voice. We got an amazing guest today. She's well known in the DMV and beyond for her amazing vocal ability. I've known her for about 8 or 9 years since the cancer fundraiser that we did. That's where I officially met her. But I've known of her, way before that. Her reputation precedes her. Yeah. So, and I'm a little upset that I only seen her perform live once because I've been so busy. Because the soulful power of her voice and the effortless command of her instrument is something you got to witness live. She's an actress, a vocalist, an outstanding vocalist, and performed nationwide, places like Radio City Music Hall to the Palladium in Hollywood and everywhere in between. And singing with musical legends, people like Stevie Wonder, Patti LaBelle, Regina Bell, Jennifer Holliday. And now that the pandemic restrictions are being lifted, you can find her performing with Push Play Band. I want to make sure I get the names right. Push Play Band, and also as a founding member of the supergroup Pink Polish. Of course, I'm talking about Pam Ward. Thank you so much for joining us. I had to give you the appropriate intro for the level of awesomeness that you exude on a regular basis. Welcome to the Neighborish livecast.
Thank you. I was like, she sounds impressive. Who is that?
That's you.
Yeah, man. Like, so my co-host Mike, he was doing some research and he said he listened to some of your stuff.
Research means you went to YouTube and Google. You know.
Anyway,
that's research.
Yeah, that's fine. And
I'm gonna tell you, forgive me, 2 or 3 videos. The first video I said, she can't sing Tina. Man, she can sing Tina Marie. Come on now, that's not like, you know, that's not a karaoke song. That's not something you do in karaoke at the bar. That's something that, and when you saw you perform with Patty and Stevie, thank you so much for being with us for real.
Thank you. I appreciate the ask.
It was awesome because yes, man, and you said you know, well, no, she's not well known enough. What's going on? What we doing? It's her voice is awesome. Sincerely.
Yeah, he called me and was like,
I sing all the time myself, and I need, you know, I need some time to work.
You need some auto tune, Mike. That's what you need. But because you're back to gigging and everything, like you said, you have to be you have a rehearsal tonight, right, at 8?
Well, it's actually 9. So,
okay.
But I got to get out of here at 8. So
in time, yeah. So we typically talk about a couple of current events and things like that. But I'm gonna get right into this interview because I want to talk to you because there's a lot of stuff that I want to ask you. I started writing questions and I was like, man, I'm gonna have her back again because there's a whole lot of stuff I want to know. But yeah, so we're gonna kick this off with you. I want to start by asking you. I watched a couple of interviews and saw you talk about how you got your start in church. Singing, in the church and everything. But when did you realize that you had a gift, that you had this amazing voice?
It was really late. I mean, I knew I had something, but I thought I was like a background singer because that's where I was comfortable. I had serious stage fright. But I always sang. My mother used to tell me I used to sing on the bus. We'd be on the metro, going down Georgia Avenue, the 70 bus when she was going to work at Howard University, and she'd be taking me with her. And she said I was singing and entertaining on the bus. And I can remember when I was younger going to my grandmother's house and like putting on her wigs and singing in the mirror with a brush and whatnot. So I mean, I knew I had a little something, but didn't know if you want to say the magnitude of it until probably my 20s, I want to say.
Okay. Okay. And Mike had a real good the way he put it. I like the way he put it was so that was when you realized you had to give.
What I say?
Calm down, man. I'm not gonna anyway. So Mike is paranoid, even smoking. But
relax. I'm actually relaxed.
But yeah, so he wanted to ask you about starting your you realized that you had this talent. At what point was the transition? Was when you realized I can actually do this and devote time and focus and drive to it and make it a career?
It came gradually. I don't know if it was something that I realized or something I was more pushed into. I had friends and family like, you really need to, just pushing me. And I had a gentleman that was a really good friend of mine. He was my first manager, really believe in me and pushed me into a lot of those events or whatever you see on my bio. A lot of that came through his associations, like with Patty, his association with Patty and her family, and me being able to get a lot of those opportunities. And I think just performing with other people at that point, I was like, oh, maybe I can do this a little bit.
Yeah, that's dope. You definitely can. I'm glad that you had that realization. So, so you mentioned like the Patty and the artists that you sang with, and you have as a long list of them. So do you have a favorite? Did anybody you just got a lot from the experience, so you really enjoyed or stands out?
Well, my favorite, my idol is Patty. Period. Okay. That's my idol. Though believe me, there's so many I love though. I love Shaka. I love Yolanda Adams. I love Karen Clark. I love singers. Let me say that.
Singers, yeah.
Yeah, I love singers. I have to say I had a really great experience with Fantasia. Like she was so personable, so down to earth. Mama Patty was too. I call her my godmother or my auntie in my head. That's Patty. But Fantasia was like the sister. She was like the home girl when I met her, and she was just like so giving of herself. She performed this whole time for like an hour or something on stage, and you know how she is. She gives everything on stage, taking off her shoes. And as a matter of fact, I think, as a matter of fact, she hurt her ankle just before the show that particular time, and she performed anyway. No shoes, still jumping all over the stage. Somebody wrapped her ankle, and then she came. It was an event we were at out of town, and then she came and partied with everybody. No bodyguards, no nothing like that. She just came and partied with everybody. So I had a great experience with her.
That's awesome.
That's dope. And so, just to balance out that, and you don't have to answer it if you want to, but was there anybody that you work with that you probably wouldn't work with again?
I can't say no. I can't say that there's anybody that I wouldn't work with again. Thank God, I've had really great experiences.
That's dope. That's dope.
And money is green.
Anyway, but no, to have the tenure that you have and be able to say that is a blessing, because you know there's always somebody like, oh yeah, this person was that and this, but that's dope that you were able to work as much as you have and have good experiences enough where you would work with people again. So you answered probably the next question that I had about your top 5. You named a few people. Yeah. So I wonder, because I've seen a few interviews where you mentioned being a hip hop head and being really into hip hop.
So you want to know my favorites for hip hop?
Yes. Your top 5.
Top 5. I don't know about it, but my all-time favorite hip hop group is A Tribe Called Quest. Anybody who knows me knows.
Yes.
I love A Tribe Called Quest, Q-Step, Fife, all that, Jerome. Ali. So I love. Well, the Native Tonguers, I would say, for the most part, but A Tribe Called Quest is the top, and then of course the GOAT is Biggie. Period. I don't care what y'all say. Don't tell me nothing about no. Tupac is cool, but Biggie is the GOAT. Period.
He's the GOAT.
He's the GOAT. Okay. And so you mentioned your favorite singers and your favorite artists. So what's your playlist look like? Like what you listening to right now?
Ooh, my playlist is so all over the place, y'all. It's varied. Most times it's whatever I'm learning for whatever shows that's coming up. Mm-hmm. So that could be, with Let It Flow, it could be anything that's what you consider top 40 on the radio right now. Mm-hmm. Beyonce and her and all these that I really don't listen a lot to unless, I'm given that because, with Let It Flow being the go-go and R&B and all that stuff, the growing sexy, you have to stay on top of some of that. But I love when I get a chance to listen to whatever I want to on any given day. It can be anything from gospel to hip hop to some contemporary jazz. This is my radio set too. So this morning on the way to work, I was listening to 104.1, which is, praise 104. Yeah. And then on the way home, I was actually on a meeting, but usually on the way home, I might turn to my Rockabelle station or something like that.
Okay. Yeah. Just switch it up. That's cool. Yeah. So you said you don't really listen to some of the artists that much unless you're preparing for a show or something. Has it been anybody that surprised you that you listen to and you're like, oh, this is kind of dope?
Yes. What's their name? Chloe and Haley.
Oh, those two girls. Yeah. Kind of
Beyonce's protege. Those girls. It was during the pandemic. They did this for NPR. I don't know if you guys listen to NPR. I love NPR. Yeah, they used to put on a lot of artists. Yeah, they used to put on a lot of indie artists or artists you don't know about. They really launch people's careers. So I pay attention to NPR a lot because I like different stuff. I like stuff that I don't hear all the time on the radio. So, but they did an NPR at home, and it was amazing. Yeah. I was like, oh, because I thought they were kind of cute and they could sing, but I wasn't really on it until I saw that, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
How long did the pandemic set you down for? Were you out of work for a while, respectfully?
For a minute. Well, I have a day job also, so this is not all I do.
Forgive me. I mean, singing. How long?
Yeah, well, singing. Yeah, for a minute. But there were some things that popped up here and there. People kind of jumped out there and did some outside things. Also with Pink Polish, I was afforded the opportunity through Lake Arbor Jazz in conjunction with Xfinity. That we did a pre-recorded outside live music that session that we did with Jeff Bradshaw and Brian Lanier. So people got really creative. So I still did things here and there, but it sat most of us down really.
And I'm setting up the next question. So now people are there. Is it better than before? I mean, because I imagine when I don't like a whole bunch of people for I just don't. Where I come from, always something always go down. You never can see it coming unless you got your back to a wall. But
he's a hood dude. Is basically what he's saying. Go ahead, Mike.
I'm not a hood dude. I just, when you go to open venues, you go on YouTube as we speak right now, and World Star, people are dragging folks down the steps and carrying on. There's a lot going on. But my question is, isn't it awesome to have that live audience back to, enjoy it with you and experience it with you?
It is. I have to say that's one of my favorite things to perform live because you get that energy. It's reciprocal. So yeah, but it was scary for me because I am one of those people that was very paranoid. I was like, stay away from me. Put your mask on. Somebody came up to me at Push Play gig last Thursday, and the guy, he wanted to talk to me. I guess he wanted to tell me, to shout out somebody for their birthday. I was like, put your mask up, and then you can talk to me. But so just like, no, y'all know, if y'all come towards me, I'll be like, put your mask up.
Yeah, I've seen people with the no mask walking around like it's, but it is what it is. But so when you record, I was an artist for a while, and I would have what I would call my studio survival kit. It was things I always had to have with me because, sessions go long sometimes. You're in there for hours at a time and stuff like that. So I would always have like a energy drink. At that time, I don't really mess with them anymore, but and something, something to read for like the downtime, or my phone more recently, and then like some kind of candy or something, because you start to break down after a while. You need some like a boost of energy. Do you have anything that you have to have with you, when you do those sessions?
Always water.
Water, yeah.
Always water. I keep mints in my purse for cough drops, because I'll drop them in the water too. That kind of helps. Yeah. I'm just trying to, make sure my voice is in the best shape possible. Back in the day, I probably would have had a cup of something also.
Okay. Get you in the, in the right mind frame to get the work done.
Yes.
Yeah. So you've done something that I've talked about a couple of times that I feel like people who do it are kind of superheroes. Like I'm scared of I do a little acting myself, and but I haven't done any theater. I'm so full disclosure, it's terrifying because it's like, when you do commercials or TV shows and stuff, it's takes and you can stop and do it again and everything. When you're on that stage, those people are right there. It's instantaneous. And I've, of course, performed and even done some stand-up comedy. But for some reason like that, trying to memorize lines and things like that is something that, I'll just say I haven't mastered yet. Okay. So, but you've done it and done it on a level, that people aspire to. So, first of all, how did you start in the theater? Like, how did you get your start doing theater?
By accident. I used to do the talent show circuit in this area. And I think it was one of the talent shows or something I was in, and someone approached me, and they just wanted a good singer. They wanted a belter. That's me. And they asked me to be, a small role in this play. It was called Divided We Fall. I'll never forget. And we would rehearse at McKinley. There was a wonderful gentleman by the name of Glenn Allen. I want to say his name. Yes, Glenn Allen. And he was a playwright. And I think he saw me or a friend of his. And I said, sure. So I went and auditioned and I just sang. And he gave me a small role. I did 3 little small roles, in and out on the stage. And from there, it began a love for it. I'm really hokey, y'all. I really love musicals, and anything like that captures my attention. So to do musical theater was ooh, I caught a bug at that point. I really loved it. And from there, with that particular play, we only did a couple days. Somebody else saw me, a gentleman from here by the name of Pam Ward, and he had a touring play that he would put on here and there. And what was that? Lord, I'm Coming Home. And I had a small role in that also. And then I forgot what happened to his lead actress, but the next time we did it, I ended up with the lead role.
I was gonna say a small role. I heard you was the lead.
No, it was a small role, and then I ended up with the lead role of Tammy in that play, which was wild because I didn't have as much experience as a lot of those people. But from what I've been told, I am directed. I take direction well. So, because I really want to learn, so I really try to soak up as much as I can. I'm sitting there intently looking at everything you say, and I'm I'm gonna do it exactly the way you tell me. because I don't have the experience, I didn't have the experience in musical theater at that time. Or in theater period, other than playing the Rat King in first grade, elementary school. In the
hey, that counts. That counts. But so correct me if I'm wrong. The lead in that play was originally played by Cheryl Pepsi Riley did it for a while, and
don't start me to lie.
Okay, yeah, no, I did some research on it, and I'm like, okay, this is a serious play, and they said Sherman Hemsley was in it.
Yes, and that's where I got the chance to perform with Sherman Hemsley and the late great Miss Brenda Waters, who's a gospel great, and also Melvin from the Williams brothers, Melvin Williams, Reverend Williams.
Yeah, that's dope. That's yeah. So in the theater realm, is that something you're looking to do more of?
I love theater, but it takes a whole lot of time. Yeah. So when you were talking about like memorizing lines, I didn't think I was that great at that. Still don't think I'm the greatest at it. It's just, like I said, I try to soak up as much as I can. And you do a lot of rehearsing. You'd be surprised what you remember if you rehearsing it 4 or 5 times a week. Right. A lot of us are working actors or actresses. So we usually are rehearsing like after work. So like when I've been doing a lot lately with Art Centric in Baltimore. So when I get off work, I'm driving up the Beltway and up 95 to get to Baltimore, and I'm rehearsing to like 10, 11 o'clock at night, coming home. So it's grueling. And then on the weekends, you're there for 6 to 8 hours, so you got plenty of time to get it.
Okay.
Plenty.
Okay. And yeah, what you just said kind of speaks to my next question. It's obvious in your stage presence and in the effortless way that you move between genres and things like that, that it's a commitment, like you just said, about all of the time and effort that you put into working with the plays. It's a commitment that only comes with you clearly love what you do,
right?
Entertaining. Yeah. And so can you talk a little bit about where the love for entertaining and music came from?
I just remember as a little girl always having music around me, and my mom playing music, records or whatever, my father, and just gravitating towards that. I don't know if it was just innate. My mother also has brothers and sisters. Her father was a pastor. Her brothers and sisters grew up in the church, and they all, played instruments, sang. I didn't know till later. I found out from my father's siblings that I had a grandmother that also played and sang. I never met her because she died when my father was a teenager. But they said I'm very much like her. They said she sang like an angel, but she could play. I can't play anything. But she played piano also, and I think also in church. And my uncles also sing. So it was kind of DNA as well.
Okay. Okay. Who is the best singer you've ever met or worked with, or no, just period in life? Who's the best, like the person that you like, the best singer that you know? And you can take yourself if you want to, because I would say
no, I ain't gonna say me. That's hard. I have a few. Of course, I can say a celebrity. I'm gonna say like Patty, Fantasia, Shaka Khan. You know what I mean? Lettucey, because I absolutely love Lettucey.
Yeah, she's dope.
But you want to know who one of my favorites is? And I hear this name all the time. People sometimes compare me, but I love Yanni. Yanni Crawley.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely.
I think she's dope. I think she's absolutely dope. And also, and I'm staying now in this area pretty much, but I love Brandy. She's younger girl that sings with Vibe now. Brandy Bean. She's amazing. And then, of course, I got to give a shout out to my girl Lauren, who sings with me in Let It Flow.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's dope. Yeah. And so I'm glad you kind of brought it back in, because I want to talk a little bit about Pink Polish.
Yes.
And how that whole thing started, because all three of y'all have, your own careers and followings and things of that nature. So how did you guys come together and make that decision to, make it a group thing?
We've been knowing each other for years. Alicia, one third of the group, I met in college. And yes, she and I were in a marching band together. And I don't know how we got together. It might have been music and singing, of course, just from the band. But I've been fortunate. I say this all the time, so let me say it here too. I've been fortunate somehow throughout my life. the Lord has always, and I truly believe this, the Lord has always put people in my life who sing, or some type of musicality. So, and I always try to absorb all of that. So I gravitated and became best friends with these people who sing, and God rest my best friend's soul, Kamisha Everett, who I used to sing with also. She was another one, and one of my best friends, Pastor Marsha Crouch from Garment of Praise Ministries. We came up together from junior high. First day I met her, and come to find out she sings. So we started groups and rap groups and singing groups and dancing groups and all that when we were coming up. So it's always been in my life, no matter what. And these people were the people that really pushed me and were like, Pam, you need to be out front. But I just wanted to stay in the background. I just like harmonizing with it.
Yeah. So, and that was Alicia. And Shane, how did you meet her?
Same thing. So singing, we used to go to karaoke. Now, I don't know, you may have some listeners from other areas, but karaoke in DC is more like an open mic, right. It's especially certain ones. So I met a lot of my singing friends doing karaoke. This is when I was scared to sing. So this is how I got my gumption to, perform live, going to karaoke every week and singing in front of people. And, doing different genres of songs at karaoke. And that's how I met Shane. We met Shane that way. And then it was just, people would hire us for concerts. We would do tribute shows. You see some stuff on YouTube also with Brencor. We would do like Motown tributes, Tina Marie and things like that. People would hire us for different R&B shows. We were in the circuit a lot together. And then I think it was for Shane's birthday or a benefit or something like that. The three of us got on stage together and we were just, messing around, kicking it, singing. And the idea just came up like, well, why don't we start a group? And we were kind of doing it sometimes anyway. So we just decided to do it. Why not?
That's dope. Yeah. So, and you guys, I've heard the single on your page. Do you guys have an album out or are you working on anything?
We don't. Like you said, we all have an individual career. So, sometimes it's hard to kind of get everybody together. But we are working with mainly Hungry Boy Productions, which is Pete Chapman and his team, and Dwayne Lee. But we are working with them to put more tracks. We do have another one we haven't put out yet. It's called So Simple. It's a ballad. So we have some tracks on tap, and we're working on the rest of them, trying to get something out.
That's dope. You guys are amazing together. The sound that you all are able to produce, the three of your voices is something special. So it was a good idea. I'm glad you guys started that. I see you have the wedding picture prominently displayed behind you there.
You already know.
Yeah. And I remember, after I started following you on social media, I saw you go through that, getting married and everything. Has that changed your, approach to music or how you look at your career or anything of that nature?
What it did change was making more time for family. I had to learn how to say no to some things. I still do a lot, but I am very adamant about still making time for my family. Because, we had young boys also. But now they both graduated this year and they are off. So, now I'm making time for just me and my husband, but, I can pull him along to different gigs and all that.
Yeah. So you say your son's graduated from high school or college? Or?
Yes, high school.
High school, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So one is going off to college and the other one is joining the military.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I just, a lot of my friends are, in that boat right now. They have kids, that are graduating, and that's such an amazing thing, and it's such a testament to parenting because it's all of your journey, right? Like, they definitely don't do it by themselves. You put enough into them to, help them get to certain points, but it's a struggle. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. You got to kick their butts, but yes.
Yeah, definitely. So, and also parenting, like having children, like how does that affect your music or how you approach, the entertainment industry as a whole?
I want to say I was afforded a great village. My mother, my son's aunt. I never really left my son. I still performed a lot. So my mother and his grandfather at the time, his aunt, my aunt. I had a great village, and I was very leery about leaving my children anywhere. But as long as they were family, then I felt okay. So I had those key people when my son was very young, and then when I got married and I gained a bonus child, So it's just a village. You know, my husband, my mom. I was able to, you know, have those people to help me to, you know, help raise them or keep them when I had to go to, you know, rehearsals or a show. And they always understood it. My son, you know, shoot, he used to go with me when I was doing gospel groups. So, you know, he was in church, he was in the carrier. He was just used to it.
Right.
You know, and then my bonus child got used to it. He knows, okay, you about to go for a gig, okay. And then if they can go to anything, of course I take them to those many outside gigs or things that are family oriented. They come.
That's cool. That's cool. And you, that the name you give you say your bonus child. That's cool. Yeah.
I never liked the step thing, so yeah, that's my bonus child.
Yeah, it's a bonus. It's a privilege.
It was a definite bonus. He's a blessing.
They're all heathens.
But so I know that you said when you were talking about, you know, some of the things that you had done with some of the musical people, you mentioned rap again. Like, you know, I mean, I feel like you're some bars somewhere and you got something. You got some bars. You got.
I don't have no bars.
You don't have no bars.
Off the top of my head, no. I love hip hop. I'm a child that, you know, with the 90s and, you know, that was like the perfect era for hip hop. You had a little bit of everything. So I just love it. I just love the beats. So I, you know, saying that, I want to say like Mary J. Blige is also a favorite of mine. You know, with some people, it's hit or miss with her, but I don't care. You don't say nothing bad about Mary J. Blige.
Yeah, she's the queen.
Yeah, she's the queen of hip hop soul. I love it.
Right.
They married the two.
Yeah, you do the Mary Bop when you be in the club.
You know,
you performing. That's dope. That's dope. Mike, you had a question?
Man.
You said what? Oh, all right. The weed is kicking in.
I got another J, Dave.
He's getting it. So yeah, man, I want to talk a little bit about inspiration. Well, actually, let's start with what's the best advice in your career that you've ever gotten, and do you remember who it came from?
Actually, the best advice I got was keep God first, and that came from church.
Amen. There you go. Yeah.
And just stay humble. I've heard that 1,000 times. I can't, but that was just me. I can't say that there was anybody in particular that told me that, but staying humble will take you a long way.
Okay. So
I always found it really interesting to find out who actually a song was intended for. Like, you know, when they say to the left is that song.
Oh, Beyonce? Irreplaceable.
Yeah.
Yes, and Neo wrote it for like Mariah Carey, and she's like, no, whatever. And yeah, well, you gotta watch Unsung. It's awesome. They go in the background and everything and say, you know, look, he sat there, and actually, I believe initially he was gonna sing it, and somebody was like, no, this is a female song. You can't be singing to the left of your man.
Right.
Well, you can. You float your boat. But ultimately, my question to you is there been a time when you're like, man, I wish I sang that song. I wish that was my song. Or do you have songs? Do you write?
I don't profess to be a great writer. I'm a great collaborator.
Okay.
And maybe even arranger. But I tried to pick up a pen for some years, and then I just get these blocks. I would write like a verse and a chorus, and then, you know, but lately people have tested me. They'll give me tracks. I did something with Hitmaker Productions with a group of ladies, so I did have to write my verse. But I won't take all that credit. I actually came home, and it was like within an hour, I had to get this verse down, and I had to go into the studio real quick because it was like last minute. So my husband helped me. I gave him ideas, and my husband helped me write because he actually, you know, used to write poetry and things like that. So he came up with some great ideas, and we collaborated on that verse together. And I have to do it again. Even with Pink Polish, we've collaborated on some of that stuff too. So if you start me with an idea, I can help kind of finish it. But I don't consider myself like, don't come in with a whole song like write that.
But yeah, so are there any songs that you heard that you like, dang, I wish that, but I mean, you kind of can do that, you know, you can do covers and things of that nature.
Yeah. I can't say, I could tell you there was a role that I won, and I was like, dang, I wish I would have got that.
Oh, what was the role?
That was Effie and Dreamgirls, the movie.
Oh, yeah.
I wish I got that. And I did audition for that.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. So you have been, you know, the acting thing is something that you're still
It's a close second.
Yeah.
I would say I still love the live performing of like with bands and music first. That's my first love, the singing. And then after that, musical theater, most definitely.
Okay.
I love it's just the energy, the crowds, just the spontaneousness of it. You talk about like you don't know, like even messing up, you make it part of whatever you're doing. You know, it's not like we're perfect every night, but who knows that except you?
Yeah. I just have that irrational fear, you know, it comes with, you know, standing in front of a bunch of people. And I used to have it like performing comes more natural to me, you know, like with music or, you know, things like that. But just, I don't know. It's like you have that like, and it's crazy because it's probably wrong, but just like, man, I'm a Putin pass out or something. And everything. Just, you know, but so I'll get over it eventually though.
Right.
But on the flip side of the best advice you've ever gotten, when singers come to you, you know, when you see young singers coming up in there, you know, they need guidance or whatever. What kind of things do you talk to the newer singers about?
I still had to go back to, you know, being humble and watching your surroundings, and then always make sure the business is straight. I learned that the hard way. But make sure the business is straight. Don't play with my money. Always make sure the business is straight.
All right, that's good advice. That's very sound. And you know, like I said in the intro, you performed in places in like New York and Palladium in Cali. How did those things come about? Like, who were you with, or you know, who were those situations?
In New York, Radio City Music Hall was because I did background with Patty, and that was an Essence Festival.
Nice.
There was a gentleman who is her musical director now, John Stanley, who was a friend of the person I told you who was like my first manager. And Patty wanted a few more voices. She used to have 3 male vocalists with her all the time, but she was the finale of the Essence Festival that year. And she wanted a few more voices because she was doing like a gospel song. So, you know, her niece, Stacy, who I know very well, was a good friend of mine, became a good friend of mine, called John, and John was like, oh, I got folks. So he called all of us, and actually a couple of the girls from King Polish was supposed to be in it too, but they weren't able to make it for that particular one. So they called just, you know, maybe 4 or 5 more of us, and we were afforded the opportunity to go to New York. It was just like by chance. I just happened to be at the right place at the right time a lot of times. So knew those folks, called us in, rehearsed for a couple times here, and then they took us to New York, stayed there. Went for the rehearsal that day, rehearsed with Patty real quick, and did it, recorded that night, which was crazy. I think you met and saw so many people that night, because it was the Essence Awards. So like all of Black excellence was there. You know, whoever was hot at the time. I remember, you know, seeing or meeting like Left Eye backstage, and Gerald Levert, and these people are gone now. You know, Iyanla Vanzant, the host of the show at that time, now infamous, but really famous at the time, was Bill Cosby. And even clowning. He was really personable. So like, you know, to see some of that stuff was just crazy to me, because I remember meeting him and him just being like a really funny guy in between commercials and stuff, when he was like just joking with us, you know, to find out all the other stuff.
Yeah. You know, you
so
know.
that was Radio City, and then the Palladium actually was for a talent competition. Back in 2006, I won a competition called the World Championships of Performing Arts. So this is a competition that goes on every year. I still think it goes on annually. I found out about it somehow. Like I said, I used to be on a talent show circuit, so I used to read this stuff and try to find out where I could, you know, just trying to get in wherever I could, audition, and come to find out that it was like an Olympics for performing arts. They had a USA team, South Africa, and people came from like 40 different countries and competed. And I happened to win that.
You don't have to be humble. You can say you won it. You did.
I won it.
That's dope. That's amazing. So you like from like the world championships.
Yeah.
And it's not like the World Series where they say the world, but it's just American. Oh, this is around the world.
This is actually the world.
But, you know, being somebody who's heard you, you know, perform and been able to see you, because like I said, you kind of have to be experienced live to get the full, you know, Pam Ward, and it's no surprise at all. It's dope. So I want to ask you real quick, just as on some fan stuff. So you're on the stage at the Essence Awards. You're performing, you're about to perform with Patty, you started saying, what's going through your mind?
Oh, I want to hyperventilate. So I'll never forget. And that happened. For a second, I stopped and I was like, wait a minute, you're here for a job. You're actually getting paid. That was my first ASCAP check. Yeah. She, you know, had this, and you know how they have the stage, and she was coming up from the stage. And, you know, in Patty fashion, they had her below and she was rising up and she just started wailing this note. And the stage was rising up and I'm watching this right here on stage with her. And I'm like, oh my God. Because like I said, I love her since a little girl. And I'm like, I am actually on this stage with this woman who I completely idolize. And she is singing like, sounding like an angel and just seemed like she's just floating up to the stage. So for a second, I had to gather myself. So yeah, want to hyperventilate and just sit there and be in awe. But then I was like, you gotta sing.
You gotta work. Yeah. And you were able to do it. Did you get a chance to converse with her at all?
And that particular trip we did for a sec. But I actually met her another time when I was supposed to open for her, and I actually lost my voice. It was on this trip. So another friend of mine did it. As a matter of fact, it was Shane from Pink Polish. So she ended up opening that night. And then we had like a meet and greet with all the performers and the stage crew and stuff, you know, to have like a little meet and greet with Patty. And that particular night I did, you know, sit and talk to her. And somebody was like, oh, she sings. She was supposed to open up tonight, but she lost her voice. And she was like, sing, baby. And I was like, huh? She was like, and then she made it. She was like, I said sing. So then I sang one of my favorite songs I used to do by her was If Only You Knew. I started singing it, and then my sister and my best friend were there, and they started backing me. And so I sang a little bit of that for Patty. So she was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, because, you know, she'll let you know if it's not.
Oh, she certainly will. She certainly will. She's like, I don't care if you want to sing. I know if you can sing or not.
Right,
you know?
Yeah, she will. Yeah, that's amazing. Those moments, like being able to soak up those moments, that's kind of like, oh, man. Like
I cherish every single one of them.
That's beautiful. And in the moment, like seeing her, you know, like in that moment where you're talking about thinking about hyperventilating and stuff, but how much do you, like, in those moments, do you picture your own career and being, you know, being in that position at some point?
I would say probably more so when I was younger. I used to be like, okay, so this is what I want to aspire to. And I'm watching everything that Patty does because I kind of want to, you know, follow that or whoever, you know, I admire. Now I want to say not so much. And then, you know, there's a huge like indie artist thing now. You know, folks are not really clamoring to be with a record label when they could possibly do it on their own. A lot of folks are doing it now. I'm very comfortable where I am. My focus shifted, like I told you, with family. So it wasn't a thing of, I didn't want to leave my boys. I didn't want to, I've told somebody this before. And this was, you know, a friend, so I'm telling y'all now. But I felt like I could have done more, but I think I kind of kept myself back. I was afraid to go further because I thought I would be grabbed for something, and I didn't want to turn it down or let people down. So I just didn't go out for like some stuff because I felt like I was going to get it, and it was going to take me somewhere that I would have had to leave my family, and I didn't want to. So I held back on quite a few things. But I don't regret it at all. I don't regret it. Like I said, my babies have graduated from high school, and I'm pretty happy with that. If I want to do something now, fine. But I'm not in that mindset where, oh, I want to be famous, so I want to be up there like Beyonce or anything like that. I am completely fine with a tour here and there, doing background with somebody. As long as I'm still working in music, doing something live in this area, that's fine with me.
And I've had a few singers that I admire. I've interviewed them, and I've said there's a young lady by the name of Satoria. Are you familiar with her work?
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, she's dope. And I said the same thing to her. Like, there's a selfish side of me. Like, I have an affinity for singers, for really good singers. And so there's a part of me that just wants to be like, no, man, you still have to do it. I'm sorry. I just want you to sing all the time. That's all I want you to ever do. But, you know, life puts things, you know, on you and gives you opportunities and moments to grow and things like that. And I completely understand it. But I just want you to know that I know I'm not the only person in which that selfish side exists in. It's like, man, you know, and so my my girlfriend is a kindergarten teacher, and we were talking today about her. Tomorrow's their promotion, and she was talking about the speech that she's going to give, and in it she was talking about the what did she say? It was perfect. It's like the power of the word yet, you know, or the glory in the word yet, as opposed to, you know, not doing something I haven't done it yet. So, but so yeah, because you know, when you talked about that moment with Patty, that's why I came back and asked you about it, because I see that for you. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's, you know, just me, like I said, that selfish side of me, but seeing you do what you do at you know, at the level that you do it is awe-inspiring. And there's not, like I said, I've you know, had an affinity for singers, so I've worked with a lot of singers, and you know, it's not a lot of people that can do what you do as effortlessly as you do it. You know, it's amazing. Like, and you know, that's why I always, you know, followed you, you know, even just on social media and stuff like that. I've been a fan. And so one of the reasons I do the show is just to get people that I admire on here and you know, throw praise at them. So
thank you. I appreciate it.
Definitely, man. So I'm gonna ask you about the biggest differences in you know, between singing and acting. And you know, you said singing is your love, but I know that there's a lot of, you know, there's a lot of similarities because it's all performing and entertaining. But what's the biggest change that you had to make, or shift in mindset between singing, and even though it's musical theater, acting is definitely a different animal. So
definitely. Sometimes the theater is a struggle bus for me because it's a little bit harder. Like I said, I don't have as much experience as that, and I'm usually with very experienced people who've been doing this and went to school for this. So for me, it's more of a concentration, where the music feels like I just can, you know, just get in it and kind of wing it sometimes and do it. I really have to buckle down and concentrate, learn my script. So it's more, I want to say it's a little more effort put into it because I feel like I'm behind the ball and I need to make sure that I stay with everybody else with theater. So I think it's just the concentration and the work level for that. And then, like I said, it's like when you get into the theater, like maybe 60 days before, you're like really, really into rehearsals. And so you got to be on it. And like every week, the level has to go up and up and up because you got to get to show level very quickly, especially when you're a working artist. You know, when you got a day job and you're working on this and you only have the evenings during the week to rehearse, and then just, you know, a few more hours on the weekend.
Right. Yeah. And we're, you know, we're typically our own worst critic. I know that, and I was looking for, I did some searches for some of the, I couldn't find any of any clips from the plays because I really wanted to see.
Yeah, they keep those kind of, you know, in their archives.
Right. But I wanted to be able to experience that. But you know, like I said, we're our own worst critics. If I ask somebody who saw your play, like, have you what kind of response do you get from people about your acting?
Thankfully, I've gotten some great responses, but I had some great teachers. I want to say I've worked with Art Centric the most. Kevin McAllister, who is the founder, along with his partners of Art Centric, is amazing. He's an HBCU grad, also at Morgan State, and he has a lot of his Morgan State folks there with him that helped found that. And he pulls so much. I want to say with them, like, they pull so much out of me, even more than I even thought I had. I never forget, I tell this story with them all the time, that the first time that I did a play with them, I went to go see Dreamgirls. Kevin had actually inboxed me on Facebook. Somehow he found out about me, and I knew his friend Cedric. Cedric was someone I met, you know, performing somewhere, and he's the musical director there. So Kevin had been trying to get me to come out there, and I was like, I don't have the time. Then I went to go see Dreamgirls on their last night. They were closed, and that was in 2016, and I got the bug. And I was like, oh, I gotta get out here. So the next thing they were doing was something original called Sincerely Holidays for the Christmas season. And I got in there like, oh, we're going to be able to sing. We're going to do a little choreography. Man, that thing was hard. I don't consider myself a dancer, but it was hard. And when I was telling the choreographer, I was like, I'm older. My knees, you know. She was like, oh, you'll be all right. You'll get it. By the time we finish, you'll be okay. Like, it was no half-stepping whatsoever. So they really push you. They see your potential and they see what you can do. And they like, I ain't taking no shorts, no excuses. You going to do this and you going to do it, you know, to the best of your ability. And they just pull the very best out of you.
Yeah. And the reason I knew the answer to that before I asked you, when I was managing artists, I would always tell them the highest compliment. You know, I would make them start out in the, you know, the open mics and things and the karaoke, like you said. And I would always tell them the highest compliment, you know, there's a couple of things that you get when you walk off the stage, either, you know, the good job or you did great. The highest compliment is when people will come up to you and it's like, yo, I got this song and I want you to get on it with me. And so when you said, you know, I did this play and somebody saw me and they put me in this play and then somebody saw me put me, so I knew the answer to that. So, but, you know, you were saying it's hard, but it obviously is something that you excel at because, you know, you've been given that opportunity a couple of times. That's dope, man. You know,
I have to say it's so fulfilling too, because you put so much work into it. So, and then you get that instant gratification with the audience giving you a, you know, standing ovation or telling other people, and then the next week is sold out, you know, by word of mouth. And then of course, holding your breath doing that after the first opening weekend when the critics, you know, write their reviews and you're reading that and you're with bated breath, reading it, like, please don't say nothing bad about me. Please don't say nothing bad about me, you know.
I hate that to beat up a critic, you know.
And so far so good. It's been pretty good so far.
Yeah, definitely. So I know you say you you know, you had to run because you have a you know, a rehearsal to get to. I wanted to ask you, there's two questions that I always ask all of our guests, and I you know, always enjoy the answers that I get. The first one is if you had an opportunity to speak to a younger version of yourself, let's say, you know, 12-year-old Pam Ward, if you could get in the time machine and go back, being through everything you've been through, all the knowledge and, you know, everything you've acquired up until this point, what would that conversation be like? What would you say to her?
I would tell her to go for it, to not be scared, to go for it. I spent so much time being, you know, afraid to be up front. But I would tell her to go for it and push even harder than, you know, than what she did.
Okay, this is good advice. That's good advice. Yeah, definitely. And the second question is, you performed, you know, of course, all over the country, you know, to venues filled, and, you know, a lot of people see you on a regular basis. You know, a lot of people are looking at you. When people see Pam Ward, what is it that you hope they see?
I hope they see the God in me.
There you go, Pam. Yes.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. Well, we definitely see it in you tonight, and I appreciate you so much for taking the time out to come and talk with us tonight. It's an honor for me because I'm a huge fan, and I see that now that the pandemic restrictions have been lifting, you've been gigging more, so I'm gonna definitely get out and make it 2 times that I see you at least.
Come on. Yeah, Let It Flow is this Saturday at 5 Station 1. Push Play is every Thursday at Society Lounge. We're also starting at every other Friday, which starts this Friday at Twist Lounge with Push Play. And then we're coming up on doing a Sunday at Nipsey's. You know, everything is open back up Nipsey's, and Let It Flow. The gigs are slowly coming back. But like I said, this Saturday we have a couple special guests. You know, Go-Go Warranty that's coming out also performing with us. Like I think Camise, Scooby, who John Williams Day. So yeah, it's a lot going on. So make sure I put things on my page. I have a fan page, which is Pam Ward, or just my personal page, whichever. Pam Ward. Yeah. On Twitter, I'm LIF Diva. On Instagram, I'm officially _Bunny J. I think it is.
I was going to ask you, who is Bunny? Is that a alter ego? Is that like a?
It's a nickname from college that just kind of stuck. Okay. So only a few people I know if they call me Bunny, it's from college. So, but yeah, that just kind of stuck. So all those, but I'm, you know, mainly very active on Facebook. So you can find me on there. And also, I got to plug Pink Polish. We are doing a tribute to the Fallen Divas on Thursday, July 22nd at the National Harbor. This is part of the Lake Arbor Jazz Series. Every Thursday, starting in July, they're doing a series. So 7:30, July 22nd. We need more ticket sales, y'all. So come out there And well, buy your tickets right now. Okay.
Yeah,
Buy your tickets online right now, lakearborjazz.com.
Mike, bring the wife, man. We going to the Lake Arbor Jazz the 22nd. Seriously.
Yes.
So
it's gonna be beautiful.
Real quick, Mike, how long ago did you get married?
Well, 10 months.
10 months?
Oh, congratulations.
Okay, dude. Advice for a 10-month married, for somebody who's only been married 10 months, you've been hanging in there for a while now. So, you know, what kind of advice would you give a new couple? 9
years, but I want to say the advice that we always get is communicate. Stay friends, overly communicate, just communicate and love on each other.
You don't have to raise your hand, Mikey.
Can you stop telling us where to park and when to slow down? Just getting on my nerves.
No, communicate.
That's part of the communication.
I can see the parking space. You don't want to drive.
We do that too. Please believe I do that as well.
Listen. So you want to drive? No, but you want to tell them where to park.
Look, believe it. You might not like each other every day. You might not like each other every day, but as long as you still love each other. I like every day, but that's what the parking space is. Yeah.
You can say that because she came in the room Friday.
Right.
But yeah, man, thank you so much for coming through. I appreciate you. I didn't want to push you out. I know you had said 7:50, but if you have a few minutes, you can hang out, or if you need to go, that's cool too.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go so I can just get myself together. Every little minute counts right now.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, this is great. It's
been a long time coming because me and Dave been trying to do this for a second.
For a while,
hit or miss. We have been for a few years. It's been hit or miss, so I'm glad it finally worked out.
Yeah. Just seeing you, Pam, and I hope to make it out to one of your events.
Come on, I would love to see you. Please let me know you're there when you come.
I definitely will.
All right.
I feel like Patrice been meal prepping today or something. You out of it, Patrice? You okay?
No, I just been busy like for the past feels like 30 days.
Right.
Oh, okay.
But it's okay. I'm here. I'm back.
I appreciate you. Yeah, because I thought you had some of Mike's weed for a second.
Nah, that's what Mike. I didn't about it.
But all right, Pam, so we're gonna post all of your stuff on the page. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good night. I appreciate you.
Good night. All right. Bye-bye.
So yeah, man. Pam Ward. Oh, Patrice rolled out too. She was
I'm gonna tell you something, man.
She's
you know, when we gotta start having folks sing, man. I want to hear her sing. We should have had her sing. Why you ain't say nothing? Dave, we're gonna roll with it. Our show is developing and moving forward, and we're gonna be just fine. It's a process. You gotta trust it. I want you to pick your fucking head. I'm looking at the top of your damn head. And
I'm down, Mike. Hey, look. So before we log off from the show, I want to talk about a couple of these topics with you real quick, since we brought them up to talk about.
Pick your head up there. I can't. All right. What are you looking at? You've been looking. What have you been looking at the whole?
I got my notes.
That looks horrible.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mike. Anyway, so we talked about Gary Owens a little bit before the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that whole situation about his wife, him and his wife going through a divorce and them dealing with their marital situations, and it's been kind of public.
Spousal support.
Yeah, spousal support. So the idea of spousal support, and we had a little brief conversation about it. And I said that my ideas of it have changed a little bit. Like originally, I was like, nah, she's a human being, she's an adult. My thing is women have jobs, women work every day and they make a living for themselves. So, the idea of supporting somebody after your connection has dissolved, for me, originally, this was my original stance. Originally I was like, nah, what does she need? But understanding the connection, the roles, and the give and take of a relationship and how things work, and sometimes she's not in a position to make for herself or do for herself, and in those type of situations I definitely understand.
You gotta cut the leash, Dave. What happened? This is not.
What are you talking about? Anyway,
what's going on? What made you change your mind? What conversation made you?
No, just living life and understanding the relationships.
47 minutes ago, you was not saying that.
Yes, we just had this conversation. What are you talking about? I said that was my stance at first.
You sound real old-fashioned earlier. It was like, these bitches don't deserve shit. Fuck that bitch.
I ain't saying that. You know I ain't say that.
No, but
I did not say none of that.
It's tough because I think we balance between spousal support and then somebody who is your life mate of 18, 19 years and raise the kids, and perhaps she did not go out and earn monies, but she knows she runs shit in the house, and that's a whole other ball of wax in and of itself. So initially I thought you was minimizing all that. And what you're saying is, in a sense, unfortunately, we're using this man's, I don't like to use this man's first, like, I would be pissed.
Well, I don't know him personally. I was just using the situation.
I don't want you talking about that shit because, personally, if it's my wife, she ain't my ex-wife yet. And if she is, I told you, $137.60. That shit fluctuate 27 cents every 3 weeks. It's a 55-gallon barrel of lie. Come on Facebook, read in between the lines. Get it all taken care of because
the thoughts and views expressed by Mike are not those of the Neighborish.
Our example was, let's say we made some money and made 10, 15, 20 mil. And I'm supposed to, and we live in High in the Hall. We have a nice house. We might even have a driver. I don't know because my wife was a driver. And she deserves one because I told you she won't try to tell me where the parking shoes. Leave me alone. So
somebody she hired to tell her.
I just drove 4 hours. I drove through the mountains, through the Appalachian Mountains, through Garrett County, Allegheny County, all the way back here, getting to the parking lot at Walmart. And she told me, it's a parking space right there. I done navigated all the way across the whole state of Maryland today.
She loves you. She wants you to have the best space possible because she loves you. That is love, Michael. Why can't you take the love that she is trying to give you?
I look at her, I said, do you want to drive? Have I not made it this far? I mean, so. But and so giving you that give and take for 20 years, 10, 15, $20 million. I don't have how much money he has, I think is the issue. And I think that was the issue that I heard most because when I heard it, I was like, oh, that's not my business. I don't. But I think mostly it's a request of some like 40, 60 grand a month. Like, a lot of motherfucking money. Well, how much you think that's all of it. That's all I'm saying. Some of this.
Like, so,
how much is he getting a show? We need to be doing something like he's doing because that's a lot of money. And he ain't the first and last.
No, not at all.
We
talked about people who didn't have those what do you call them? The agreements. What is it? Prenup. Yeah, they didn't have the prenup. People like Paul McCartney and just a bunch of people who get
Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, just a bunch of people who get.
That's not my. We're gossiping now. Like,
well, no, I mean, but no, I'm not talking about them personally. I don't care about what they do.
We're talking about money. I'm just talking about a barrel of lie. 55 guys. That shit personal. It's real personal with your money. Because that's how you sound earlier. I can imagine. You marry a beautiful woman, the beautiful woman that you got now, and you got 35 mil, you know what I'm saying? You sitting up on a house in the hill and she like, you know what, Dave, I'm tired and you're sweaty, I'm done. And then you see her like 4 months later and she's talking about some, this paperwork is what it is, and you look at the numbers like.
And so look, and then on top of that,
in life,
she gonna get somebody else and then they gonna be living off of your, that money.
I'm not even got mother. I said nobody's living, Dave. What are you talking about? Like that.
I need you to stop killing people on the Neighborish live cast.
Nobody's living. Obviously, I'm joking because
I know
I'm not going to kill him. You know what I mean?
Oh man!
Because if it's half of 35 is 17, and guess what? With $57,932. She can be arranged.
Right. Hey, look, man. So we talked briefly. I'm gonna change the subject to keep you out of jail. We also talked briefly about I was telling you about the whole distance learning thing and how it's been. You talked briefly about your kids and how they had basically had the house on lockdown during the whole distance learning. And I saw some interesting stuff. You know, like I said, my girl is a kindergarten teacher, and yeah, just seeing some of the stuff that parents are doing. Let me just tell all the parents out there, if you have kids and they have the computer that they got from the school, no matter, even if they're not on school, if they're not logged in, the school can still see what you're doing. Because I happened to be there, and the person was checking the email and making reservations at the time when the child was supposed to be in school. And yeah, that was
unfortunately we you start these babies off like that. Come on, man.
Wrong.
Put something in them. I mean, we don't want to jeopardize anybody's job by communicating any names. Go ahead on names, but it's real. It's real. Like, I mean, you see with your own eyes, happen. You know, with your own eyes, like you're neglecting these kids. It's like they not just our future; they're their future, the future after that. I mean, if you're up in them, it's tough.
Yeah.
I'm grateful because, you know, I got a strong woman and she's like on the ass at all times. And I got kids who starting to care.
Right.
They drove me crazy this weekend. Had a good time, but
oh yeah, you went to Deep Creek, man. How was the Deep Creek situation?
It was bittersweet.
Not that they didn't giving us no money or nothing, so you don't got to talk about it too much. But
it was bittersweet because we don't like. We went to the pool and we had. They can't swim. so Deep Creek though, we're not getting in the water. And so I want to, but like I live right now in an area where I could probably get acclimated to the water and learn how to navigate it because I can. But right now the option was a boat trip, right? And you drive the boat. No. I pay for you to drive the boat. I pay for the whole damn drive of the boat, the gas, all that time. But I don't. It's like it's a reason why you have a learners, and when you're learners, you can't drive other people around.
Hey, look.
You don't just get in a boat and just ride around this big ass lake.
Look, I don't know if she's
20-minute lesson. Like, this is my whole family. I actually care about this. You know what? I'm gonna watch y'all go out there on the water, have fun.
Like, I don't know if she watching. You know, we supposed to be going to Puerto Rico, right?
Yeah.
And that was one of the things this year planned. We supposed to be going to snorkeling. It's like, we're gonna rent a boat and you can drive the boat. And I'm like, I don't know how to drive a boat.
You drive the boat and I watch you. I want to do a jet ski, right? But my son, he's not 16, so I'm like, man, my first experience is gonna be with him.
Okay.
I'll be 43. Fucking, I ain't.
You know.
Maybe when the kids, because they did fun things. They did everything they could do in the house. We bowled, we did the pool, go-kart track. But we did s'mores outside and told stories and we terrorized the little one, with scary stories. I mean, and it was awesome because the lights outside were motion sensitive. So if everybody stayed still for about 4 minutes, shit went pitch black.
Just cut off, yeah. So that's like Massanutten. Yeah, we went to Massanutten a couple of years ago.
Pitch black, and everybody don't like the dark.
Yeah. Especially the little ones.
Even grown folks like, man, good lights.
They get a little uneasy, right? Where the light switch at? Stop playing.
If my wife was dealing with the little one, because every little sound, the crackle of the flame, she going off. She won't go in the house. And it's hard because you want to help her overcome her fear. Send her in the house.
Right. Yeah.
That means she wasn't moving around no more. Stay still. All the lights went off. My wife was like, hey, cut the light on. Cut the light on. I'm like, you serious? She's scared. She's like, yeah, cut the light.
And unfamiliar surroundings too. Right.
But we got a bonfire, not a bonfire, but a little fire pit right there. It was real nice. It's a hot tub out there. It was nice. It was worth it. I hope you guys enjoy it. Now, as far as snorkeling, bro, they're eating whales are eating people and spitting them out. Shark attacks are up, bro. I'm not snorkeling. I'll go to the aquarium and I'll walk through it in the glass.
It's an experience. I'm looking forward to these. It's something I've never done, so I want to see.
I'm not snorkeling with things that are hungrier than me. That doesn't make sense.
I mean,
they're fish and they're hungry, bro.
They eat fish food and stuff. They don't.
Talking about sharks too, and guess what? Sharks is coming up the bay. That means they're in Puerto Rico too.
I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna check the weather and check the local.
Just have fun. You only live once. Do it. Are you gonna drive the boat?
Huh?
Is it drive a boat or is it sail a boat? I mean, if it's got a motor on it, that's
what
I'm saying. I have no clue. Right. If I can't tell you that, I should not be.
I'm trying to tell you. I'm in the same boat. Look,
you know what I'm saying?
But yeah, man, I think it's gonna be fun, man. Like I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone in this area and then do more stuff. And she's
And
helping
take
me.
her hand, walk through the middle downtown, and find a couple bars. Don't drink no water. Don't eat no ice.
Yeah. No, I already
And
know.
and,
I had a homegirl
but
that went to Mexico, and you know how they say don't drink the water, and she brought bottled water, but she went to a bar, got a drink, and ice in the drink.
Not a game.
Messed up. Like
that's a wrap.
Come straight
when
back.
you go to the hospital, and we're talking about Puerto Rico, so it's not the same, but
different because it's America.
It's awesome to spend some money down there with them. I know the food is awesome.
Yeah. That's another stuff I'm looking forward to, just relaxing and
How was the beach gonna be on your plantar fasciitis?
Oh, but look, so you talked about that earlier. Like I got this is not stuff I want to talk about on the show. This is boys stuff. We about to
it's real shit, bro. It's real shit.
But yeah, I got some the what you call it, the shoe pads. But look, you brought up earlier about the girl who got drugged down the steps at what was it, Nellie's?
Yeah.
And so you saw the video. So coming from the life of a bouncer, somebody who's done that, who's done security in the club, and just my experience with clubs and bouncers and things like that. There's sometimes that one who gets a little overzealous and a little overexcited, or
it's whole teams of them. And what happens is, because you're big and you're strong and you can sleep shit out somebody with one hit or two or whatever. As we've progressed with our anger and frustration, little John made songs about the shit. The security step up. What did he say? What's gonna happen? Well, fuck you up. You know what I mean? So now the whole it was one fight. The whole club looking at you like what all of us like. And it's a mob mentality, and even worse now they've restricted us for so long, and we're all this pent up anger and rage is coming out. It's constant. People are just going nuts a little bit, and it's being recorded. Maybe it's been being recorded more. Maybe it's always been happening. You know what I'm saying? Because there's always a video. Because the video is the context in which we see what happened. And if I'm the bouncer, I look real bad.
Right.
I'm dragging a female down the fucking steps by her hair. Now, what did she do? Did she spit in my face? Did she kick me in my nuts? You know what I'm saying? And I still have to be able to, handle that. I can, that's extreme. And when you do that, you don't know the scope of that, because now you're back into the door. You're backing up into what? Well, he found out what, because that's her fault. Say, what the fuck what are you doing, bro? It's another way to do the handle. As a real bouncer, if you're real smart, you never get in a fight. Strip club is wild as hell. You came to get your dick sucked. Why are you fighting, you fucking fool? I had a little Latino brother stuck his thing in the girl butthole. My goal was to get him out the club, not because he was crazy, because the moment she called her boyfriend, he was gonna light the whole thing up.
They don't want to.
That's his money maker, and she mad. You hear
me? Yeah.
And and that's how. And that was a phone call. Now he in the club.
Yeah.
He waiting for something like that to happen, and that's when you frisk somebody at the door. As a man, I ain't gonna lie to you. I've been paid to work the door. I've never touched a man beyond his hips. Right? I'm feeling no goddamn man. We don't do all that shit.
I'm sneak in, but don't tell the people that, man. You let him get his Uzi in his lap.
That's but if you know how to carry yourself, he ain't gonna pull it out. It's up to you. And honestly, you should have. I'm glad somebody got an Uzi. Uzi's a little fucking extreme. A Glock is necessary. A little danger or something.
Again, the views and opinions expressed by Mike are not those of Neighborish Livecast. But I just wanted to, get your point of view on that.
That's not called for. You gotta use your brain. You don't use your brain. Use your brain.
So what you're saying is, as a bouncer, it's never a reason to drag a female down a flight of stairs.
As a father, don't let me find you. I don't give a fuck who you are.
Yeah.
I don't care if she spit on your MP, kick you in your little pee-pee. Guess what? I'm cutting it off. I'm not playing. That's my daughter. You don't know who's and people go to the club with their family now. Everybody with their family right now.
I don't know if it was family, but the homies definitely did some.
They wasn't having it, they wasn't having it.
And
there's also DC. That's
a whole nother thing. But then it was also, it was a part of Pride Month, and so that was,
There's another video. That's if that's the intent behind it. There's another video of a young dude on the boardwalk, and I think it's in Maryland, I believe, and He's
Oh
being
yeah, he
mean,
got
hard
arrested.
in the side, and it's
Got
this
hog
one big
tied.
cop diesel dude, you know, police officer, and he's doing it in front of probably about 100 kids.
Yeah.
He's got to know that you're going to incite something. If you snap and do that, if you was in an alley, nobody's gonna see that, except for your little cam, your little chest cam. But you on the boardwalk in front of everybody. You're inciting violence when you do that as a police officer now. And you always have been. Kids wasn't having it. When a couple got tased, one or two got. I'm not sure who just one or two.
Yeah, I heard the story. I didn't watch the video because, like Patrice says, a lot of that stuff seems so strategically placed. You know, just to keep people emotions on edge. And I always feel like, and I talked to you know, my uncle who was a police officer in Bladensburg for a long time and in U.S. Marshal and things like that. And we talk about how it feels so manufactured. It feels so everybody tells me I'm supposed to hate you and you're supposed to hate me. So let's hate each other. And I always try to look beyond that and try to see what the reason is, what's the underlying story, and you know, lead with love as opposed to hate. You know, I definitely understand the issues that people have with police officers and the problems that, you know, police officers have caused and are causing in our community and things like that. So I would never say to just be all good with it and all right or nothing like that, but just look beyond it and deeper, because some of those people are out there to do a job, you know, and I don't want to get too deep into that because it's a whole lot of feelings.
Well, it's so many layers.
Yeah,
you have those individuals who want to go home to their family that night too. Yeah, and they're not bad people. They go, like, it's a video that one dude, he walks up in the white truck and on the passenger side, and he talks to the guy. He says, "Well, I see you have a firearm. Let's go ahead and make sure it's cool." And after a couple moments of conversation, they start back toward the back of the truck. My man come out with a big ass rifle and just let the guy have it, and let the guy, the police officer, didn't give him a chance. Shot him dead on the side of the road. Later on the road, ended up getting killed, you know, by other police officers and stuff. And you look at it on camera, if you heard that cop didn't sound like a bad cop. He sound like he, you know, he's on a desert road. This guy's got to pick up in a rifle. He wasn't tripping on it, because that's what the fuck you should have, you know, out there in the world. All right. But not, he ran up with the wrong guy, the wrong instance. So now you show this video to cops who are learning how to do traffic stops. This ain't about black and white, purple, green. This is about some crazy shit popping on. And you're not taking care of your situation. And when you walk up on the scene, you don't know what's in the car. And you showed us to a class that you're training. And depending on how that individual interprets that video and they push it out to that class.
Yeah,
I mean,
it definitely affects their, you know, I mean, and I don't want to seem like, you know, I mean, I agree with you 100%, and it's a tough thing.
You sleepy today? Are you sleepy?
No. I'm realizing that the way the lighting is, it's got me like squinting a little bit, but no, I'm good. I slept earlier, but yeah, man, that's such a layered topic, and I like.
Like you arched your eyebrows, then.
I never have arched my. I've heard that a few times. People say that about me because of how this is my natural.
You just look really optimistic at all times.
That's my natural look, but yeah, man, I'm glad.
I know the police officer thing hits home with you because you were raised by one who's a good dude. And,
yeah.
You know, and we all know he's a good dude, and he's in you.
And that's what makes it difficult, like to reconcile.
Duality.
Because I see that, you know, and I know that person, you know, intimately. You know, that's I knew him like as a human being first, and then as a police officer, and then you see things like, you know, what's being shown and what's being said, and the obvious stuff and the obvious hate that some of these police have, and the obvious ignorance that they have, and the obvious, you know, negative intent they have toward people of color, people of, you know, people who they feel are lesser than, things like that. And so it's like you said, it's layered. That's a great way to put it, and I, you know, appreciate that description. So yeah, that's a conversation that could go on forever, and it's passionate people on both sides of it that feel one way or another. So but with that said,
one more time. Don't say no more. Go.
With that being said, we're gonna wrap up. I appreciate everybody for checking out the Neighborish live cast tonight. Did I say it? Oh. I can do it. Wait. I'm finna do it. All right, starting now. So we're going to wrap up. I appreciate everybody for checking out the Neighborish live cast tonight. On behalf of myself, Super Dave, aka Mr. Incredible, my brother Just Mike, the one and only Miss Fruitfit herself, Patrice Jones, and our illustrious guest, the amazingly talented Miss Pam Ward. Thank you guys for checking this out.
Thank you guys for checking this out. You said, oh my God, fresh out of us, Dave. Yeah, let's have some fun.
Anyway, shut up. Now I'm so self-conscious about it. Anyway, take care of yourselves and each other. Have a great week. Lead with love. Lead with love. Don't, stop hating so much. Lead with love, Mike. And leave the weed alone. And we'll see you guys next week. You said why?
Why?
I don't know. It's legal now. Have fun with it.
It's my friend.
But it's your friend for real?
My friend for a long time.
That's pathetic. I'm gonna talk to you later on, brother. It's always good conversing with you. And y'all have a great evening. Peace.
You might be safe.